Oh, if the Newcastle fans want the club to be sold, why don't they pitch their money in together? Well, now, United fans, now you want your club to be sold by the Glazers. Why don't you pitch your money in, Rio Ferdinand? I want to know I'm going to be in the Premier League next season. I don't. He would have walked by now at any other club, but he's got a £6 million contract. Without Mike Ashley, we wouldn't have Steve Bruce.
Welcome back to the second episode of our incredible... It's not really a series, is it?
No,
it's just a new style of content.
We're just no copyright. We're just talking a lot of crap about football, basically.
Yes, Alex is quite new to this, as you can tell from how he goes. Yeah, we're just recording it.
Apparently, I sounded really sad in the last video.
I think that's Alex's voice.
I think it's just my voice. And if you've been a Newcastle fan for 19 years of your life, then you would be. Segue. I'm a Newcastle fan. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, so a message to Niall Ridge.
Message to Niall Ridge.
Basically, we're back with another video, and Alex has been wanting to do this for a while. He's been wanting to talk about Mike Ashley, the state of Newcastle United, and just what's happening. Because, I mean, this would be a bit more appropriate if it was... Well, actually, no, it's going to be appropriate for however long, because...
A month ago, this would have been incredibly appropriate.
Yes.
Because we were losing game after game.
You were going to get relegated, but...
Under Cabbage Head. Seriously.
But what's okay? So to start off, what do you think is the main issue within Newcastle in your opinion?
The owner of the football club.
You think that's the only?
The owner of the football club is the main stem of the issue, because he's the top of the tree. He's the highest you can get, and he's just used. He's awful. He's awful, and everyone thinks, oh, he's invested money since Benitez left.
Oh, Rio Ferdinand says that.
Yeah, Rio bloody Ferdinand. Right? Can I just say, right? Ferdinand has his brand sold at Sports Direct.
Also, we brought a ball pump from Sports Direct, broke within the first day, so don't buy from Sports Direct. Oh, two in fact. Pumps. Two of them. They're useless. Don't buy them.
And also Rio Ferdinand, who said, oh, if the Newcastle fans want the club to be sold, why don't they pitch their money in together? Well, now, United fans, now you want your club to be sold by the Glazers. Why don't you pitch your money in, Rio Ferdinand? Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. But stay at the club. Well, it's a mess. From top to bottom, it's a mess.
I mean, we've seen True Geordie's videos on it. This is the B-Tech True Geordie.
This is the B-Tech one, because I'm not actually a Geordie, but...
No, he's not, so yeah.
But I've been supporting them for a long time.
He's supported you all your life, haven't you?
Yeah, all my life.
Oh, there you go.
And I've watched every single game that I possibly could. I've been up there 7 or 8 times.
I think that obviously I don't know as much as you do, because I was watching a documentary last night on Sky Sports. And,
yes, I didn't watch that.
The Entertainers,
yeah.
Where Newcastle were managed by Kevin Keegan,
yep.
And they played some of the most incredible football. They did bottle the Premier League title. They were like 12 points clear at one point.
I know, Dan.
And they
watched it many times.
They did bottle it. But you played some great football, and you were playing exciting football, and you had a manager that cared, and you had an owner that cared.
That's what we want, and that's the issue. People are getting it mixed up. People think we want league titles and Champions League football every year.
But you do.
No. Everyone wants that. West Brom fans want that. Everyone wants that. I don't really care, though. I want a team. I want to know I'm going to be in the Premier League next season. I don't. We're Newcastle United. We have a 50,000 capacity stadium.
You are a big club, don't get me wrong. You are a big club.
We've got bags of history. We are literally the top scorer of the Premier League. Played for our club and scored most of his goals for our club. And we're a relegation battle team every year.
I just don't think that... I've been saying this for a while. There's no reason why you couldn't be doing what West Ham are doing right now. And
the players I think we've got a decent
I mean, you might probably need a few more transfers. There are some players in there that are just not good enough.
Our central midfield, I don't think Shelvey and Longstaff are good enough, personally.
John Joe.
And our defence is, Lascelles is great, but Cher came on the other day against Arsenal, yesterday against Arsenal, when he came on for 5 minutes after being injured and got a red card.
Oh yeah, that.
Did you watch that game?
No, I didn't.
We were awful.
I think I have seen the highlights.
We were terrible. We had a shot on target in the first half, and
back to Brucey Ball,
and it's the same. Any team can get together a decent string of results when they really need them. It doesn't reflect much on the manager. It's just a coincidence how as soon as Sir Maximan comes back from injury, that's when we pick up our results. He carried us to the Burnley win the other week. absolutely carried us.
Was that the one where he
scored and assisted in 10 minutes?
That was lovely.
Unbelievable.
It was great.
And and I think that's the reason we've been so good. Well, okay for the past few weeks. Joe Willock has been fantastic.
You need to sign him. We
have to sign Joe Willock.
You need to sign him for sure.
But
I think ultimately as well, I've spoken to this to you quite a few times, and I think most Newcastle fans will probably be in agreement that you have Rafa Benitez, and once Rafa Benitez didn't get the backing, if I'm saying this correctly, we didn't really get the backing, and he didn't really have a great relationship with Mike Ashley. If as soon as you got rid of Rafa Benitez and you employed Steve Bruce, it was a recipe for disaster.
It was over.
And can you now see, and unless this change happens, I can't see any progression for this.
We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
Get relegated.
All Benitez asked for, this is the only thing Benitez asked for, was a 50 million transfer budget. A £50 million transfer budget.
What were you telling me about Joe Linton as well?
Right, so Joe Linton was a player that we were going to sign for a few seasons, but it was a Mike Ashley signing. It wasn't a Rafa Benitez signing. Benitez didn't want him. Benitez just wanted 50 million. So he just wanted to say, here's 50 million, go buy a couple players. He didn't get it. He gave him a year's warning, said if I don't get this by the end of the season, I'll leave. Ashley let him walk. He employs Benitez, and we spend 40 million on Joe Linton next year, and 18.
You mean Steve Bruce?
Yeah, Steve Bruce, and spends
Bruce.
40 million on Joe Linton next season under Steve Bruce because it was an Ashley signing. 18 million on Sam Maximan, bargain.
How much did you get?
18 million.
Was that under Bruce?
Yeah.
Was it?
That was the same season we signed Joe Linton and a couple of other players. Bargain, brilliant, but it's not good enough. It doesn't get us anywhere because. You
play some awful football.
It's terrible. It's horrible. And unless Ashley goes, we won't improve because Bruce won't go until Ashley goes. We get new owners.
Because there's supposedly there's been so many times that this would be any other club, any other manager, any other owner, he would be gone months ago, years ago, whatever you want to say.
Well, Bruce has walked.
How long has Bruce been at your club for?
2 years.
2 years.
He would have walked by now at any other club. But he's got a £6 million contract. And this is why he gets the stick he gets. I don't agree with online hate or anything, by the way. Can I just say that online abuse is disgusting? But I don't like him, and I don't like the way he manages. He's got a £6 million contract. And if you're a Newcastle fan, which he says he is, I'm one of you, he says, then leave. Let us be taken over by a manager that you know is better than you. And give us a chance.
I don't understand how he's managed to fluke his way into the Premier League.
We should be going down. We should be going down. We really deserve to be going down if it weren't for the past 4 results we had or something like that. We'd be going down. We managed to fluke 8 points from 4 games against Liverpool, Spurs, Burnley away and West Ham. I don't know how. It's complete luck, pot luck.
Well, he has this weird relationship, doesn't he, with Mike Ashley and Steve Bruce, like I mentioned.
Because Ashley's giving Bruce a payday.
I just don't understand, and some of the interviews. I remember, I can't remember what game it was after. You'd got 2 points in your last 5, and he goes, "Oh yeah, decent results recently."
When you string a group of results, we got 2 draws in a row. It's like when you string a group of results together like this.
That's a group of results.
It's awful.
Really?
That's what that's what's good for him. It's terrible. And what was it? We beat Burnley, and before that we drew to Spurs. And he goes, back-to-back wins. A draw to Spurs is to him a win, apparently. An awful Spurs. And we just lost 2-0 to the worst Arsenal in history of football. And that's Arsenal have been terrible this season.
But in all fairness, you wouldn't expect to beat Arsenal even still, necessarily.
I'd expect to be putting up a fight against an Arsenal
that's what I think you're more concerned about the performance. There was no, I didn't actually watch the game, I only saw the highlights, but I've seen enough Newcastle games
There was nothing, and I've gone past the point of expecting even good football, exciting football. I want to see my team be able to play a 5-yard pass. We can't play out the back. It's just nothing going forward until Sam Maximan picks up the ball. And it's true. It's he literally carries us because he's the only thing we have going forward. It's awful. Almiron, I love him, but he's been ruined by Bruce because he gets the ball and he craps himself. He doesn't know what to do with it. Joe Linton is terrible. Should not be playing football for Newcastle United. But Bruce, because 40 million has been spent on him, Bruce insists on playing him week in, week out. last week, the first substitution he made against Arsenal, when we're 2-0 down against Arsenal, let's bring on Joe Linton. We've got Andy Carroll on the bench. Don't get me wrong, he hasn't been brilliant, but he can,
Andy T. Carroll, come on.
Andy Carroll can take a touch. He can bring the ball down. He can play football. He has. He's a composed footballer.
Fair enough.
Joe Linton can't. He's awful. Yeah. We've got Gale on the bench. He's better than Joe Linton. Just put it that way. We've got a few players on the bench that can do something more than Joe Linton, and he insists on bringing them on. And it's.
I mean, I don't think you have high expectations, really.
I don't. I want to be I want to be an established Premier League club.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
And a club the size, especially Newcastle, as a place, is just football. They go hand in hand.
It's a working class
you associate
city, yeah.
with Newcastle with football, and how many people work to
rely on football.
I think True Geordie was talking about it in his video.
The majority of the people in that city, people in that city will work a week just to go and watch their team play at the end of the week, and it's really sad that they can't go and enjoy that game anymore because there's nothing to look forward to. There's not, as long as Ashley and Bruce are at the club, there's no looking forward. I don't care if we don't do what West Ham are doing next season, but if we're doing it under new owners and under a new manager where there's prospects and there's something going forward, I don't mind. I don't mind if we make no signings in the summer, but we have new owners and a new manager.
And then you have pundits going that, like you say, that think you want Champions League, top 4, top 6, and it doesn't. And the amount of disrespect that Newcastle get from pundits.
I can't stand football pundits. I can't stand.
But that's why you watch us.
Yeah. But this is why you watch that. Bruce, because most of them are mates for Steve Bruce, and a lot of them. Ferdinand, particularly the worst football pundit there is out of all of them.
Wasn't Jermaine Genius as well?
Jermaine Genius, an ex-Newcastle player, can I just add? Literally put him on the map, slagging off the fans, saying, they should be thanking Bruce. For what? Keeping us just in the Premier, just keeping us afloat.
Ultimately, the main issue, as much as you say he would walk Steve Bruce, the main issue is Mike Ashley. He's a piece of shit.
The main issue is Mike Ashley, because without Mike Ashley, we wouldn't have Steve Bruce. Mike Ashley employed Bruce because he's a cheap option and he knows he'll.
Who did you get him from?
Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday.
That's what I'm saying. So Bruce has walked from his past 6 clubs.
Yeah, but not
Newcastle.
The club that he supposedly.
Not the club that he supposedly supports, but funnily enough has a £6 million contract with. That's why Wednesday he probably had not even £1 million. He probably sunk Sheffield Wednesday as well. They're getting relegated this season, aren't they? But
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think they've already been relegated, actually.
No, not yet. Are
they not?
They're playing Derby this weekend.
Oh, I thought they'd. Because Derby didn't win. Yeah.
Anyway, and there's nothing, until Ashley leaves, and I think now that the corruption in the Prem has kind of been, or corruption in football has been uncovered, I'm hoping that there'll be a sale this summer. Ashley doesn't want the club anymore. He wants to sell the club, thankfully. But
so, you think you get new owners next season?
It's not going to be the ones. They're not going to be the Saudis that wanted to buy the club, I don't think, because after all that mess, I don't think they're going to want to bother. But I think there'll be plenty of people coming in for us.
Well, hopefully there's a progression, and there's.
I hope there's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Because I hate it a lot because of. We're not allowed to think the way we think as Newcastle fans. We should be grateful for being in the Premier League, apparently, but. That's not what we're meant. We should.
It's not the same for any other club. Apart from Newcastle, it feels like.
How are Burnley more of an established Premier League club than Newcastle?
Yeah.
How? Don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Burnley. You are a boring club. Bloody boring. And Brighton, both of you are boring. But we've got a better squad than them. Sam Maximan and Callum Wilson would walk into both those teams.
I think you have. This is the thing. I do think you have good players.
We have a mid-table team.
I think you have a jump of players. You have some of your star players, and then
we do.
I'm not joking. There's some players in your team.
We have a complete imbalance of players.
There'll be plenty of Bournemouth players that'll get in your team. That's what I'm saying.
We have a complete imbalance of footballers.
You have so much quality here, and then you have a drop off of players in your team.
We've got Lascelles, Wilson, Saint-Maximin, Almiron, arguably. and a Willock and a couple of others, and then you've got your Longstaff, your Shelvey, Jeff Hendrick from Burnley, by the way. Jeff Hendrick.
He loves Jeff Hendrick. Big fan.
Kieran Clark hasn't been great.
Steve Cook over Kieran Clark, just saying.
And there's no balance. And Bruce, there's players on the bench. Matty Longstaff. This is another thing. Matty Longstaff, probably better than both Shelvey and Sean Longstaff put together, hasn't had a minute. Elliot Anderson, a youngster, the first youngster from our academy in years, hasn't been given barely a minute. I'd love to see him play. And Joe Willock hasn't been started in the past.
I understand that. Joe Willock's, every time he seems to come on, he seems to score,
He's scored 3 game equalising and winning goals in 3 games in the last 10 minutes of each game. And he's not being started. There's no logic behind it, none. And that's why I just want him gone. I want him gone.
Amongst many other reasons.
Yeah, I want him gone and I want Ashley gone. I want those Sports Direct banners across the top of the stadium. Gone.
Gone. Yeah, I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I think I'm sure there'll be some Newcastle fans in the comments. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Brighton or Burnley, also send some abuse towards Alex in the. No, I'm joking. We can't encourage that. No. But I'm sure they'll have something to say. But let us know, especially Newcastle fans, what your thoughts are.
Yep.
If you're just a football fan, let us know what you think. As I said, leave some unpopular opinions in the comment section.
Yeah,
might be featured in the video.
Riyad Mahrez is the best footballer in the Premier League.
Yeah, no,
anything like that.
So, yeah, things like that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a bit.
See you later, guys.